Hi, I'm Carrie Ellis, author of 21st Century Superhuman. This is our 21st Century Superhuman show. And today I have with me an amazing friend named Jill Carlin Butler. Jill, how are you today?
Great. Thank you, Carrie. How are you?
I am wonderful. And I think we're looking at some of your art on the wall behind you, aren't we?
That's true. That's actually one of my visionary paintings, and it includes some of the subject matter about which we will be speaking today.
Nice. And so you are an artist. You are also carrying forward the work of your husband, who was an amazing architect. And he had really futuristic ideas of how we could build homes and communities that would be much more habitable in harmony with the earth, correct? And why don't you tell us a little bit about that, what it's called, and how you got so involved in this? Because I know your husband has passed on, but
Yes.
you are caring for this work and you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Well, my husband, Lee, had uh, built a passive solar home back years and years ago, back in the late 60s, early 70s, after he was a student of students of Buckminster Fuller and some really visionary people. And in that passive solar home, he observed some conditions after a ice storm that caused him to start to really think about how to build a, something that would be completely sustainable. And so,
Interesting. So he
yes.
started thinking about survivability when he saw how fragile much of the way we've constructed things is. Say the power
Correct.
grid goes down or whatever, and then you have nothing really.
Yes. Well, what happened is that the ice storm crippled the electric company. He was living in the woods of West Tennessee, and the power was out for 2 weeks. But his passive solar house maintained equilibrium. It maintained some really incredible temperatures. And it took him 2 years to figure out the process by which that happened. But when he figured it out, he ended up teaching at University of California, Berkeley in the Graduate School of Design and Planning, and was asked to speak where Sir Isaac Newton delivered the laws of gravity.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, he was just plain genius. And
Mm.
also was on the cover of every kind of shelter magazine globally, as well as providing homes which had no moving parts or did not hook into the grid for heating and cooling. And that was the beginning of creating a completely sustainable building that would be completely in harmony with nature and allow human beings to actually live in harmony with each other. Because the way we live right now, somebody has to go and plunder the earth in some means to get resources so that we can live where we live. And that means getting oil so that we can maintain our heating and cooling system and our electric system, or tapping into some kind of water system, et cetera, et cetera. So the new model that he invented is completely independent of all of that.
I love this idea. And I know there's many people on earth right now who also love this idea because we're ready for more kind of healthy, holistic living that makes sense and isn't robbing from the earth in order to give us our sustenance. So he came up with a really great name for it. Tell us what the name is, Jill.
Well, actually, myself, we came up with it together.
Okay.
We worked hard on coming up with the name for Ekotecture, and it's spelled Ekotecture. And E stands for ecology, K for the arcs, because each of these buildings is an arc, a survival arc. The O is for the oceans upon which they will sit, the water upon which they will sit, implying the oceans. And texture, like architecture, the texture, the texture, the built environment. So the name is Ecotecture. And I say it's essential architecture, the foundation for prosperity and freedom. And I relate it to our first chakra, to the root chakra. I relate it to the very foundation of how we live and interact on the earth, because we can talk peace on earth all we want, but until we're living in these buildings that are in complete harmony with the earth, human beings, unfortunately, may not be able to live in peace. And so they may be having to go somewhere else to get their resources, and that may include ways in which they get their resources, which in the case up until today has not been a very peaceful activity.
Oh, brilliant. I love that, because you're seeing through all of this how people get to be at odds with each other because they're taking resources for survival when we don't need to take from each other in order to live in a really wonderful way.
This is the model of ecotecture. That's why I call it the foundation for prosperity and freedom.
And you could add peace to that.
Yeah, okay, I will. Thank
I
you.
like it, because I think there's some great peace movements on the planet right now, and it would really harmonize with those.
I like that. Yeah, that's true. Thank you for saying that. I like that.
Well, Jill, I want to compliment you. I know I met you through a friend, and I've admired you over the last few years. And your husband really passed on like 12 years ago, right? About that length of time. And you have made it your mission and purpose to continue bringing forward this work. And I know you've been traveling in recent months, and you've been in some amazing meetings, and you're really seeking funding to start some ecotecture communities, correct?
Well, that would be great. Really, I think that would be amazing and wonderful. Yes, funding is always appreciated and needed. I think it's a movement, and I think it's really people joining me in the movement, as well as I know that you are connected, and a lot of the people that tune into your broadcast, our webcast, are connected and are people that are creating and involved with systems which are potentially the subsystems that contribute to this whole environment.
Yes,
and so
definitely.
Really partnership with those people that I'm seeking as well. The people who are, for example, creating the best biodigesters in the world, who want to contribute to the system. The people who are creating the best water reclamation systems, the best water purification systems, the best individual home aquaponics, hydroponic systems that are available. So there are all kinds of systems that contribute to the ecotecture model, and those will be integrated into the model, and those are the people that I want to partner with. So those are the people I'm seeking right at this moment. In fact, right this minute, those are the people that I'm looking to connect with to put together the entire picture.
Nice. And we even have in the plasma energy movement, we've got potential for power systems and that are very harmonious, and the ganses and the nano coating items that help in so many ways turn our home into what we call an oasis, which is a place where we've harmonized with the Earth's energy so much that we create an amplified bubble that we can live in.
Yeah, well, all of the ecotecture homes are also based in sacred geometry and in the Fibonacci sequence as well. So they're by design, they're harmonious. And by design, I mean, the whole design of them is about sacred geometry and is about harmonizing with the earth.
Great.
And embedded inside of them are all kinds of great things. They may be a little far out.
Well, let's go ahead and look at some pictures, shall we?
Please.
A picture's worth 1,000 words.
Okay, yeah, there's simple drawings right now, and I can show you some models as well.
Great. I'll go through the screen sharing process here. Just give me a moment.
I will.
And share screen, and then we'll make this a little bigger. Let's see. View full screen. There we go. Okay, so I'll let you go ahead and just talk us through this, and you tell me when to move the slide ahead. What a beautiful picture, just looking at the details in this.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I can't read all the writing, but I'm just going to give you an overview without being able to read it all anyway. So this is an alternative construction for the future of humanity and the planet. And I'm calling the individual homes eco-arcs. So they're potentially involved all of the alternative energy systems that potentially contribute to the whole are solar hot water, gravity geothermal, gray water recycling, black water recycling, that is taking the toilet waste and creating a usable fuel from that, or
Wow.
creating a usable fertilizer for the internal garden, because there's a garden which feeds the entire system inside of the house, as well as an aquaponic system which provides potentially protein for the entire house. What you see on the diagram, if you want to point to that blue line that goes at the bottom of the hull of the boat, I'll call it. The blue line there is actually a water jacket.
Okay.
So the salient feature, so to speak, the word salient feature of the boat, of the ark, is that it floats. So where does it float? It floats on water, and it also floats on land in a water jacket. And that blue line is a water jacket. So it's basically designing a pool in which the hull of the boat, the design, the building actually sits.
Wow.
And that keeps it earthquake proof, hurricane proof, flood proof, potentially in some cases tornado proof, tsunami proof, surge proof, etc., etc.
Nice.
Yeah, I may have forgotten to mention the batteries for storage, the tanks below for storage. Now, all of those crosses down below are actually hexagonal shaped tanks that are housing the utility infrastructure of the entire system.
Wow.
So instead of requiring an umbilical cord, so to speak, that is going to your gas company, your electric company, your sewage, your water, you have no need of any outside interference.
So it's a self-contained system.
Yes.
And what is the pink down here?
That's just ballast in the hull of the boat.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, hull of the boat, and more tank systems potentially if required, batteries or whatever.
And then this looks like a pretty traditional house. Are they all kind of this traditional shape?
It's potential. You can have it shaped however you want it to be shaped.
Right.
If you notice in this case, there's a dome that goes over it.
Yes.
In the case of one of the models, there's no dome. The whole house is within the dome.
Nice.
So the design components and the way you design it is limitless in some ways.
Great. Let me see if I can go the right direction here. Is that the right direction? Let's see. Yeah.
Well, is that the second slide? Does
it is.
say?
Yeah. It says, Ecotecture, essential architecture, and then it has a bunch of writing. Provide safe, comfortable shelter, replete with pure water and healthy, fresh food in a single environment. And that has kind of a different picture in it too. I like this little, looks like a little pagoda house or something.
Yeah. So my architect of recent years has designed these houses to be hexagonal. My husband specified that they be elliptical, but my architect of the last couple of years designed them in a hexagonal shape modularly, with each of the components being hexagonal. So basically what each EcoArc does is it provides energy, it conditions air, it generates pure potable water, it recycles waste for fertilizing garden and for cooking gas, and it provides safe and comfortable shelter, as well as growing healthy, fresh food, plant and protein based, including an internal hydroponic and aquaponic system.
Move me in.
Move me in. Move us all in.
Move us all in. Let's see my going.
Move us all in.
So we have our same picture again that we had at the beginning, but living in the future, floats on water and on land in a water jacket to provide safety in the event of natural disasters. You kind of went over this already.
I did. Yeah, I did.
So here's pictures of all the natural disasters: tsunami, hurricane, tornado, flood, volcano, earthquake. And this house would be resilient in this kind of setting.
Yeah, it's the potential is there. Yes, let's just say yes.
Nice.
The future is limitless, and we can design to protect against all of this.
Yes. So it says takes nothing from the earth, air, water in its operation, puts nothing into the earth, air, or water in its operation.
Correct. So what that means is that I'm not saying that it doesn't take anything from the earth, air, or water to be constructed and made, but once it's in place, it doesn't take anything. It's not doing what we do today. It's not raping the earth for its resources, and it's not polluting the earth it's expelling the waste. It's recycling the waste within the system.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I know. So this one says, Ecotecture utility systems are all based on natural systems without using combustion or friction. That's quite a statement.
Yes. And so what you're seeing here is a cross-section, a plan of the hull of the boat, of the hexagonal one. And those lines that you see internally are a series of tanks which aren't outlived. If you look very closely, you'll see the hexagon within them.
Yeah, it looks kind of like a honeycomb, really.
Exactly, and that's what it is. The honeycomb, of course, is my husband, he said it was the strongest way of constructing. It's a dodecahedral construction.
Right.
So the tanks in the hull of the boat, in the bottom of the boat, in the barge of the ark, so to speak, in the bottom of the ark, are hexagonal in shape.
Uh-huh. Hold on one second.
Shirley?
Let me just pause. Hey, Mark, is there any chance you could go outside and close the door and talk? Thanks. Okay. I'm gonna resume.
Resume.
Okay, here we go again. Sorry for the interruption.
No worries.
Go ahead. So we'll go on to the next one. So I had said this is like a honeycomb, and which is very interesting.
Correct. And a man can walk in through there to check all the tanks. There's the height for a man to walk through there, and also the passageways for somebody to walk through there.
Nice. I'm having one of those ways of looking at this image where I can see it from several different directions. You know, I don't know. It's got some kind of a 3D, really neat quality about it.
Nice.
So this says some subsystem schematics.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw in a couple of the schematics of, like, you get to see there the hexagonal shapes of the tanks in the hull of the boat.
Right.
They're very simple. You also get to see in that first drawing a double shell envelope, my husband's first invention of the gravity geothermal envelope. But he put in a double envelope. If you notice, it's double walled.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, and another diagram for, I believe, a airflow diagram. So I just was putting in a couple of the drawings of the subsystems to let you know that they exist.
Nice. And this says the utility systems include solar electricity and hot water, gravity geothermal heating and cooling, water reclamation, desalination, and purification, waste recycling within the closed loop system, food production, storage of electricity and water.
Yes. So that gives you an idea of, of the systems that are within the system.
Right. And Jill, the name of this system is called Ecotecture with a K, Ecotecture, and is it .com?
Yeah, it is.
Ecotecture.com, and it just
and you can like me on Instagram, and you can go to the Ecotecture page on Facebook.
Great. Wonderful.
Ma'am.
Ekotecture.
That's right.
And I think there's a lot of other people doing amazing things who could also combine ideas with your system or learn from it or adapt it.
Yay.
Even though it'd be fun to get a whole community going set up this way as an innovative model.
Yes, ma'am, I
Can,
agree.
can look, function, and feel like a traditional structure, but includes unseen unique features. No moving parts or connection with the utility grid.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Lovely home. And nobody would ever know that it was built
Exactly.
this way. You could just be like you're in a regular neighborhood, but your house is far more secure.
Exactly.
Your life is more secure.
Exactly.
Or it can look like any other type of style. Wow, look at this. This is what I dream of. Futuristic, earth-friendly, wow, homes.
Yeah, I just I pilfered that one from the web, but that's okay. I changed it in my more recent slide.
Very exciting and interesting.
Uh-huh.
Plans to provide affordable, safe housing anywhere. So these look like a little bubble, kind of.
Yeah, those were the original designs, and they would be, for example, I call that the San Juan model, because that could have a structure like that could have been deployed to San Juan instantaneously, had we had them all built, and could provide safe housing for those people that are suffering so
You're thinking
dramatic.
San Juan, Puerto Rico, where the hurricanes just came through?
Exactly.
Yes, or Dominica, or any of many other places.
Exactly.
And so this Ecotecture, Essential Architecture, says it is also a database of the new benign utility infrastructures of the system. Easy to use, accurate, accessible, and delivers everyone their essentials.
Basically, what's going to happen is that we're going to have to capture the data and analyze the data about how each of these buildings functions. And then we can continue to make improvements as we move along.
Right, because new things are being developed all the time.
Exactly.
Wow, this is gorgeous. Can be located anywhere: cities, rooftops, lakes, rivers, oceans, mountains, deserts, valleys, and plains. Wow. Lovely.
Yes, ma'am.
And Ecotecture, Essential Architecture, is a garden environment of fresh conditioned air, flowers, fruit trees, plants, and vegetables. Crystal clear waterfalls, abundant in fish, shrimp, and edible water plants. It looks like fun.
Yes!
And Ecotecture explains how the process of nature can be used to generate the essentials for all human survival. Wonderful. I'm almost starting to picture some kind of a collective, I don't know if you'd call it a convention, but a gathering where people brought together. I know of other people who have some very wonderful advanced architecture systems, and it'd be really fun to get a bunch of you together in one place.
Well, maybe you could do a show with all of us and we get to share all together.
I think that would be great. Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do it, and maybe we can actually all meet.
Yes.
I invite you all to my home.
Great. And even virtually is great, because that
I love it. Virtually is awesome. Yeah.
So Ecotecture utilizes local on-site energies and existing resources. Beautiful. It elegantly addresses survival and economic growth for planet Earth. I love your people swimming in the water, and there's houses floating in the water, swimming with the dolphins.
Yeah, that's the painting behind me right now where I'm sitting.
Yes, it's fantastic. And this is your wonderful husband, Lee Porter Butler, inventor of Ecotecture, who lived from January 3rd, 1940 to November 22nd, 2005. He looks like a happy, bright person.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Do you miss him?
Of course. Who doesn't miss genius? I wouldn't be carrying this thing on like this, this torch on.
Yes. So what do you have in your hands there?
Well, this is the model that I left over there in Peru is a better rendition, but this will serve to show your viewers.
And that was 3D printed, correct?
Correct. This is 3D.
How fun.
I'm going to start with the small one. but I had some
Now,
small.
were you able to find a university, or who had a 3D printing site that you were able to use near your home?
There's a man that I know who does 3D printing of models for
Nice.
architects. And
Nice.
so these were the initial ones. They're quite small. And they're, as you notice, this is the hexagonal model.
Right.
Hexagon, the large living room, which includes a kitchen and a live-in dining room. And this is a bathroom and a bedroom here.
Nice.
So, and this is the floating foundation, the hull of the boat that floats. I'll show it to you in greater detail in this one.
So if someone had one of these in a neighborhood, say, where it's earth, they would still have the hull of the boat that would kind of get buried in the ground, and it would give the house the ability to move if the earth moved, if the earth became unstable, it would give it survivability.
Correct. So this one I've had done in parts so you could see how it would operate. That would be the hull of the boat. Those would be the tanks in which the various utilities are housed.
Nice.
And if you notice, there's a little stairway here. So this is the stairway by which the man who has to, or woman who gets to go through here and check on and maintain the system, because there's maintenance to the system.
Very cool.
And then I'm going to take out the greenhouse. Hold on. Here is the living space. So this is the living room, kitchen, bathroom, and bedroom.
Wonderful.
And you see the stairway here because there's one other floor, which is open floor plan, because this top area, which I call the mezzanine, is a growing area. And this is where all your plants are grown, up here. And here on the roof is solar panels. And so you get the idea that how this whole thing functions. And so yeah, yay, let's build them. Let's go. Let's
very nice, Jill.
Yeah.
And I know you've been visiting with some different people who potentially might help you begin a model community with this.
Hopefully so, yeah.
And what's your doggie's name? Ivan?
This is Ivan.
Hi, Ivan.
Ivan
What a good boy.
Can we go for a walk? Yes.
Says, Mom, okay. Well, listen, it's been so wonderful visiting with you and sharing Ecotecture with a further audience. And I think, yes, let's plan to do a show and bring together some of these different kinds of construction and get people inspired, because I believe we begin building a new world now by taking action in new ways. All the things that we'd like to see happen someday, we need to start making happen now.
Totally in agreement. And the other thing I think that would be really interesting is to have some of your viewers who have been working on the subsystems, on the biodigesters, on the water reclamation, on the pumps, on the electrical systems, on all of the newest in solar technology and all of the ways, the plasma technology, the GANs machines, all of this, to really come together so that we can see how they can contribute to this system. Because the idea is to get these buildings created as soon as possible, so that we can create a community.
Yeah, and some of the old worries people have is, well, if I invest my money in something and I want it to be resaleable, but we've got to start looking at our world as we're investing in ourselves moving into the future, and we're going to begin building these things and making them work with our resources that we have so that we can have new resources that come to us.
Yay! Okay, I'm all for it.
Jill, thank you so much. I want to remind everybody.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you, Carrie. I love you. Thank you so much.
You too, and we'll talk again soon. And I want to remind everybody, listen to your heart. Whoops, hitting my microphone. Sorry about that. Breathe, smile, love, and be a part of the path into a viable future for humanity. And we shall see you all soon. Much love and so many blessings. Ciao, so long, Jill. See you soon.
Thank you.